everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. I'm sorry I haven't posted any podcasts for this week until now. I've been very busy. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving could have been better if the Cowboys would have won, but that's neither here or there. I want to go ahead and get real quick as far as my one phrase and summary for each of the NFL games last week before I go over my predictions for this week. We got Thursday Night Football tonight. It's going to be good. But let's get started with last week's games. We got the Bears versus Lions. Grateful to be coaching. That's what Nagy said after the game, and honestly, he should be grateful because he won't be the head coach of the Bears for long. Raiders versus Cowboys. So you say there's a chance. So despite the odds being low, the Raiders took advantage of the Cowboys' injuries and undisciplinedness, basically, and got the upset. Interesting fact, this was the most penalized game since a game in 2016. 5 years. So yes, the refs robbed the Cowboys, and yes, injuries, while they occur for both teams, hurt the Cowboys more. I'm not disputing that. But there's other things you can point to about this loss. Like, for one, this loss falls on Mike McCarthy. Because, one, on that Waller fumble, he didn't throw out the challenge flag. That's a very important possession of the game right there, and that was clear fumble, but yeah, he didn't throw out the flag. Number two, when we made the extra point and the Raiders dropped off sides and we had a chance to go for two at the 1 yard line, I was saying, like through the TV screen, I was saying, no, just take the point. We don't need a 2-point conversion right now. If we need one later, so be it. But for right now, we don't need one. And what does he do? He goes for 2 points and doesn't get it. And, since it went overtime, means that one extra point we would have just kept it would have been the difference maker of the game. So I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. So, and now Mike McCarthy's going to be out this week, so we'll see how that affects the team. But like I said, the Cowboys are going to have to overcome some bad coaching, in my opinion, and injuries, but mainly bad coaching. Bills versus Saints. The Mafia destroyed the Saints. The Bills Mafia came and destroyed whatever chance Saints had to keep their season alive. Although I will technically, with everything going on at the bottom of the NFC, I will give them another week or two. I will, because now that, especially that, even though Taysom Hill's not 100%, at least he's starting now, so we'll see how that goes. Steelers versus Bengals. There is a new QB in the rivalry. When it comes to the rivalry, we know that Big Ben has dominated for a long time, but not anymore. The new QB's last name starts with a B, but it's not Ben Roethlisberger. It's Joe Burrow, who looks like will dominate this rivalry after sweeping the Steelers in this season. It's crazy to think that Cincinnati's better than Pittsburgh this year, but that's going to be the case. Bucks versus Colts. Hold my drink. So we all praised Taylor for his performance, and last week he had 5 touchdowns all against the Bills. The Bucks saw that and like, oh, we could do that. So then Leonard Fournette just scores 4 touchdowns, including the game-sealing winning drive. A crucial win for the Bucks to kind of keep them afloat, the top NFC race. Patriots versus Dolphins. Newton's been exposed. The Miami Dolphins exposed Cam yesterday as Cam got benched, although it's not a permanent benching. But it's hard to, and I thought this when he signed, it's hard to be watching games on TV during the season and all of a sudden get thrust into action a quarterback. You gotta get used to the system and all that, used to receivers and timing and just all that different type of stuff. Now you can see flashes of him and see brilliance like he did at Arizona. But as a full-time starter, he just doesn't have enough reps or knowledge in the system yet. And with Christian McCaffrey also being re-injured and out for the season, and the defense taking a step backwards from where they were at the start of the season, I think, even though Carolina's still mathematically in, I still think their season's over. Titans versus Patriots. Defense of old. Titans got some yards. They weren't terrible against the Patriots defense. But despite having no Henry, no Julio Jones, no A.J. Brown, the reason why they couldn't do much on offense is because they had 3 turnovers. I mean, if you can drive on the Patriots, great, but the one thing the Patriots do well is they force turnovers, so Titans lost that game. Eagles versus Giants. That hurts to watch. So Jalen Hurts, after playing well the past few weeks, had a 3-interception game, hurt by ankle, just wasn't well, only scored 7 points. I think this is not an indictment on Hurts to not get another year, because you can have one bad game, because you had a bad game against the Cowboys and bounce back. So I still think it's fine. But right now, he just has to develop the Lamar Jackson part of this game. What do I mean by that? I mean, when the run ain't there, make good passes to keep the drive alive. Lamar, we saw on Sunday night, he's still not a great passer, but he's developed that key part of the game over time. So that way, if he's forced to do so, then he can do it at a good enough, efficient clip. So that's something Jalen Hurts needs to provide on. Falcons versus Jags. Patterson is the man. Patterson returned from his injury, and the Falcons' offense, despite still missing Calvert-Lewin and the offense line sucking in general, was a night and day difference with Patterson back. So they only scored 3 combined points the past 2 games because Cowboys Patriots, and then although beating Jags defense, they were able to put up 21 points with Patterson back. Not a coincidence. Jets versus Texans. Wilson barely passed the test. So with Wilson coming back, we wanted to see what he learned, from being out for a while. Well, in the first half, he looked like he learned nothing. Then in the second half, he kind of shook off some rust and did a better job, just being a game manager. And that's exactly what Robert Saleh said after. He did a good job of just being a game manager in that second half. So that's what he needs to constantly do at this point during his rookie season. Chargers versus Broncos. Broncos will not be tamed. After going on a lose streak, the Broncos upset the Cowboys, and it looks like they're back in it, but then they go and lost, and then they have a loss to the Philly. We're just kind of bounce them out again. But now with this upset, now they're back in the playoff picture. So they just won't go down 5, which is pretty good for the Denver. Rams versus Packers. Has the ceiling been reached? Besides the Bucks, all probable playoff teams, Cardinals, Titans, 49ers, now Packers. And this one was coming off a bye week. They've all been losses, and 3 of them were blowouts. I know with OBJ and Von Miller added, the Rams are going all in, but I think the Rams could potentially have hit their peak. A one-and-done exit in the playoffs is a real possibility. Vikings versus 49ers. Can't stop the run. The 49ers once again used their running game, and it didn't matter who ran the ball. They had success no matter what. Now, Deebo Samuel, Fred Warner got injured, and it looks like they're out for at least 1 week, maybe 2. So that's not great for them, although they get to play a bad Seattle team this week, so that kind of helps. But they're definitely in the wild card picture now. Browns versus Ravens. Not clutch once again. I know Baker has a lot of injuries, but once again, Baker had a chance to win it and couldn't. He couldn't even get that first down. We know in the final minute with no timeouts, Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, Prescott, we know they can get the job done. Baker has had 4 opportunities this year to produce a game-winning drive, or his game-tying drive to go to overtime or something. And he's 0-4. And that tells you all you need to know. Seahawks versus Washington. Washington is the better Washington. So the Washington football team, not located in the state of Washington, happens to be better football teams right now. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and the Seahawks are falling apart. And they're actually keeping themselves alive, as the Cowboys have lost a couple, Washington's won a couple, and, they're starting to collide now, so it'll be interesting to see how Washington continues to carry forward on the season. So now to go to my NFL predictions for this week. For tonight's football game, the Cowboys versus Saints. I know the Cowboys are favored by 5 and all, but I feel like this would be a closer game than what the experts think. Mainly because, they're going to get Lamb back, which is good, but coming off concussion, you don't know, where he is. They might get Cooper back, but especially coming off COVID and lingering effects from COVID, I doubt he's going to be able to produce that much. You get DeMarcus Flores back, but after a while, I know he might be a little bit rusty. And then the offensive line has been a mess. You still got Zeke Mangle, even if he does play, he's still not 100%. So there's still kind of question marks with the Cowboys, especially after the past couple losses, and also with the defense performing as bad as it has. It'll be interesting to see what happens here because, like I said, with Taysom Hill right now, the Saints are still not going to be great on offense. They don't have a good wide receiver, period. And if Kamara happens to be out, that's another big weapon out. But at the Superdome now with the defense and all that, because I feel like the defense can get pressure on that Cowboys battle line. I feel like they can keep it a game, until the end. But in the end, Cowboys will win barely. I have them winning 24-21. Bucks versus Falcons. No, I know this is a division game, but no need to say anything else. I said the Bucks will win in the blowout. I'm either win 35-13. Cardinals versus Bears. Again, nothing to say here, whether it's Andy Dalton starting for Chicago or Justin Fields is back. And then on the Cardinals side, whether it's Colt McCoy starting or Kyler Murray starting, Cardinals should win this game. Either win 30-10. Chargers versus Bengals. Now, a lot of people like the Chargers here, but I'm going to go with the Bengals here. One, because Chargers defense has been bad the past couple weeks. And as we saw, if the Bengals could put up 41 against the Steelers defense, then what do you think they're going to do against the Chargers defense, especially at home? And again, also with the Pacific time zone team coming to the Eastern time zone for the 1 o'clock game, it's just tough. Now, I do think Chargers put up points and look good, but I do feel like the Bengals will pull out and have them winning 38-29. Vikings versus Lions. Now, I know Dalvin Cook's going to be out, but this is obviously a good game for the Vikings to kind of get back on the right track. Although, um, I I hope the Lions can make this interesting, but I feel like the Vikings will win this one larger than what it was last time they played each other. So I have them winning 28-10. Giants versus Dolphins. Now, Dalen Jones questionable play, and most likely might be the backup. Either or, if you're getting a 60% Jones or the backup, the way Dolphins defense has been lights out, this is going to be a blowout. Dolphins winning 24-3. Eagles versus Jets. Now, Jalen Hurts says he's good to go, he's ready to go, so it sounds like he's starting, which means I'm going to give them the nod. But if he's not 100% and therefore he's not going to be able to run as much, and Miles Sanders is also questionable for the game, I don't feel like the Philly will blow them out or put up enough points to blow them out per se. So I'm going to have Eagles win barely on the road here, 19-17. Colts versus Texans. Colts win this game easily. Houston won't be able to stop the run. They can't stop the run for the Jets. They're not going to be able to stop Tyrod Taylor. So the Colts are going to win 35-14. Washington versus Las Vegas. Now this one's very interesting here. It's kind of like a coin flip type of game. You don't know who to pick here type of thing. But because Las Vegas is A at home and then B because they finally got some of their mojo back last week against the Cowboys, I feel like they're going to ride that momentum and get a win here. Now, Waller's most likely out, so that's definitely going to hurt them, no doubt about that. But, with the emergence of Deshaun Jackson and, stuff, Hunter Renfrow stuff, as long as they can, just do enough on competent offense, I feel like they should be just fine. Jags versus Rams. This is finally like a get good game for the Rams, basically. So I feel like the Rams will win this one easily, 35-7. Ravens versus Steelers. This one's very interesting because a lot of people are going to go Ravens here, especially with the way the Steelers have been performing recently. But this is my upset pick of the week. I'm going to go Steelers here, and here's why. One, that Steelers D-line. Now, with the back end might be questionable, but the Steelers D-line's good, and we know the Ravens O-line is very suspect. So if Cleveland's D-line can cause problems for Lamar in that O-line, I feel like the Steelers D-line can do the exact same thing. And therefore, I feel like this is going to be a lower, like kind of like what you saw on Sunday night, like a lower scoring defensive game here, which can go either way. But then also, remember, Lamar Jackson has never beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers before. So until he does it, you got to go with the Steelers. So I have Steelers winning 16-14. 49ers versus Seahawks. I do feel like this will be a close game. Like Vegas only has 49ers favored by 2.5, so it shows you all you need to know there. I feel like because of the injuries and all that, I feel like it'll be a closer game. And Seahawks, still trying to gasp for breath at home, So I have them making it competitive, especially with the in-division game, and then the 49ers win 23-20. For Sunday football, you got Broncos versus Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 10. I feel like that's too high. I'm going to take the Broncos here to cover. Specifically Teddy Bridgewater's playing, because we don't know if he is or not. If it's Drew Lock starting, Chiefs should win by 10 points. But if not, then I'm going to take Chiefs here, just barely. Have them winning by like a touchdown in a lower scoring game than what you might expect, 20-14. And the last but not least for Monday Night Football, you got the Patriots versus the Bills. Winner will be first in the AFC East. And basically, if the Ravens lose, then have a 1 seed. I feel like this is, again, like the Washington Raiders. This is like a coin flip type of game. Like, it can literally go either way. It wouldn't surprise me the Patriots get the upset here in Buffalo, but because it's in Buffalo here, I know Devin White, the cornerback for Buffalo, just tore his ACLs and all that, and the Buffalo has been struggling to run the ball. But as long as Josh Allen could just take care of the ball and the Bills' defense could contain Mac Jones enough, then the Bills should win this game. I have them winning just by 1 point, though, like a winning field goal or something, 20-19. So that's it for today. Please subscribe to my channel, turn about me. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Thank you very much. You all have a wonderful day.